About 2 weeks ago, I turned 21, and so this video is going to be 21 things that I have learned up to this point in my life. It's not going to be anything revolutionary, nothing you haven't heard before. It's just going to be my outlook on life based off of my experiences and the lessons that I picked up from them. These aren't in any particular order, it's just whatever I have written down in front of me. The first one is just to take responsibility for your own life. You have to realize that there are things in your control and things out of your control. The things out of your control you can't change. They all happen in whatever way they are meant to happen. But what you can control, you should take full responsibility for. Otherwise you'll be trapped in this victim mindset where you'll feel like everything is happening to you and you'll be complaining and you won't take any accountability for your situation and your life. But nothing changes if you don't change. Number two, there is no competition. You should not be competing with anyone. I think especially on social media, you will see so many different lives, which is really cool, but it can also be really damaging to your psyche and your mental health when you're seeing someone the same age as you or younger than you, and you're seeing them have things that you don't have yet, or you're seeing them live a certain lifestyle, and it's like, wow, why can't I have that? You can if you take responsibility for your own life. But just because someone is at a different point in their life doesn't mean that you're not going to get it or that you're behind. Everyone's path is different in life. So I think it's just about accepting the fact that your time will come and you will get the things you want. You will get the things you need. The comparison and competition with other people in life in general is not needed. It's not a race. Your path is your path and their path is their path.
Quick clarification in edit. I'm not saying competition is bad. I'm saying there's a time and place for competition and that you shouldn't be comparing yourself to people online or in person, people you know, because their situations in their life is different to your situation and your life. Have that competitive drive and that desire to be the best person you can possibly be, but don't let it come from a place of ego.
Number three, if you do feel stuck, try everything. Just try everything. You can't think your way into finding some sort of purpose. That's not how that works, especially at this age. Maybe there's people older watching who have already done this. Maybe there's people younger watching. I don't know who is watching, but you have to actually take action. You have to try and you have to fail and you have to repeat and you have to keep those going. If you're someone with like multiple different interests, that's very lucky. You should be very grateful for that, because that means you have so many different avenues to try. And if you're someone with no interests and no passions and you are stuck and you have no idea what to do with your life, that's the best situation to be in, because that's like a completely blank slate and you can go into any direction you want. Just try. If you don't know what to do anything. And then you can filter out the things that you like and what you don't like, and you can go more on the path of the stuff that you do like. Number four, do things out of love. Be first to just like give out. Be first to smile, to speak to someone. Be kind, be generous, be full of love. If you can operate from a place of love, you can build more connections with people, you can be more confident in yourself. You're going to be vibrating at a higher energy level anyway, and eventually that energy will come back around and help you in some way. But that's not the reason you do it. You just do it because you genuinely are loving and caring. Number five, this is in relation to the last one. If you can be happy and full of love and just like a good person to be around, more people will want to be around you. As a child, we learn like stranger danger and we shouldn't be speaking to people. So sorry, mom, if you're watching this, but like, I love speaking to strangers. Every human is approachable. Every human has their own stories and their own experiences and their own perspectives on life. And if you can practice presence and practice being genuine around people, you will be surrounded by other genuine people who also want to be around you. Connection is like a skill that you can build, and the more people you can connect with, the more opportunities you have in every aspect, and just the more people you have in general. And we are a community-based species. We love people, we love each other, we love being together. Number six, observe more, speak less. I think we are like 10% words and 90% everything else. How people move, how people react, how people behave in certain scenarios tell you more about the person than the words that they are saying. So if you're gonna sit back and observe and listen to them talk, but also watch how they're saying the words, how they're thinking, how they're behaving, you get to learn a lot more about a person. Everyone wants to talk about themselves, and that's a really good way to get to know someone, is just to get them to talk about themselves and ask them questions, not in like an interview style, just casual conversation. But also when they're speaking, actually be there, be present, and actively listen to what they're saying, because then that also helps build that connection. You learn a lot more from being quiet and curious than being loud and boastful. Number seven, be mindful of the things that you're consuming. Everything that you scroll past or that you listen to or that you watch has an effect on your brain, because it sits and absorbs everything that you're taking in. So if you're constantly watching or listening to like sad, depressing stuff, that is what your brain is taking in, and that is what pathways it's forming more of. There's a video I was watching the other day about Hebb's law, which is neurons that fire together wire together. And so if you're consuming all this negative media and negative content and being surrounded by negative people, the neurons in your brain are finding those pathways to connect together and only getting stronger, which means that eventually that's all you're going to see. Your perspective and your beliefs are all going to be rooted from that deep negative psychology, because that's all that you're consuming. Number 8, not everyone needs to know everything about you. It's an interesting one. It kind of sounds hypocritical because I said earlier you should connect with as many people as you can, which is true. But that does mean that your energy can be taken by a lot of people. So it's not about connecting with anyone and everyone. It's about knowing when to give and when to protect your energy. Obviously, too much giving means that eventually you're going to end up with nothing to give. But if you're protecting yourself too much, you're going to end up with no one, full stop. I think the older you get, the more I'm starting to understand that your privacy is your peace, and it's not that you're keeping secrets, you're just protecting your energy. Number 9, let go of expectations. So many people expect without having like clarity. If someone tells me like, oh, I want to do this thing, I will think that they're going to do it because that's what they've said. If you're not direct with anything, you can't just expect someone else to automatically know. We're not all Charles Xavier, we can't read minds. I think a lot of people hold others to crazy expectations that like they just can't match. It's like you assume that like because you do something for someone, they're gonna automatically do it for you, but that's not how it works. That's never how it's worked. Then you feel upset or you feel annoyed at this person because they didn't meet your expectations when they had never said that they're going to do that in the first place. I think it can just ruin relationships and connections, and it just ultimately sets you up for disappointment. It's out of your control, which goes back to the responsibility thing like I said at the start. Like detaching from that expectation and just accepting what it is for what it is means that you can find more joy, more surprise, more magic, and you can just take things as they are, which is what you should be doing. Number 10, judgment isn't real. People are just projecting. What people say about you is more of a reflection on them than it is on you. And if you are self-confident enough to know who you are, outside judgment and outside perspective should not affect you. Fear of judgment is just a fear of being misunderstood, and you need to just let that fear go and live confidently through yourself. And the people that like it, the people that don't like it, don't like it. But that shouldn't stop you from doing what you want to do. Number 11, be open-minded. Everything that you've ever learned in your life can all be unlearned. I think people hold on to their beliefs way too highly. Just because you've had them for so long, you don't know a world without this belief. But if you truly want to change and grow as a person, the first step is always rewiring those beliefs, because a lot of them are actually holding you back from the person that you want to be. To grow, you need to have some sort of flexibility in your thinking. Number 12, perspective is everything. The story that you tell yourself about your life is what your life will come out as. Because again, it goes back to the beliefs. If you believe your life is a certain way, if you believe you are a certain way, if you believe that someone else is a certain way, all of those things will be true, because your brain will look for things to confirm your beliefs. So if you call yourself lazy or unambitious, or you think someone hates you, your brain is going to find reasons to confirm all these things, and it's only going to feed into your beliefs more. But having like a shift of perspective and a shift of focus and looking at it from like a different angle, you can change the way that you view and the way that you approach the rest of the world. And it makes it a lot easier to accept situations as they are. There's no more why always me victim mindset. It's just more of like a, this is how it is. I'm fine with that. 13, gratitude. I think gratitude will genuinely change your life. If you can be grateful for everything that you have currently, you're opening yourself up to getting more of what you have. It turns that I don't have enough into I have more than enough. Because when you truly look at your life, you have so many things. If you're watching this video right now, you have like some sort of technology that you can see this on. You probably have a roof over your head. You probably have access to drinkable water out of taps. Do you know how crazy that is? So many people around the world don't have drinkable water. They don't have water that they can drink coming out of their taps. Just be grateful for everything. You start to see beauty in things that you used to overlook. Number 14, fear holds you back and faith will move you forward. In any aspect of life, if you're doing things out of fear, most likely you will fail. The best thing you can do for yourself is to just do it scared. Do the thing scared, because the doing matters more than the outcome. And if you can shift your mindset from fear to faith and to believing that no matter what you do, no matter how many times you fail, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. It's not about like knowing that it's gonna happen. It's just about trusting that what you're doing will get you to where you want to be. 15, your words have power. How you speak to yourself shapes your reality. Your words genuinely do shape your identity. And again, it goes back to perspective. If you're seeing yourself negatively and you're talking down on yourself, you're going to think that you are a negative, bad, lazy person. If you speak positively about yourself, you're going to be thinking you're a positive, happy, smiley person. If you wouldn't say it to a friend, don't say it to yourself. There's a fine line between being honest with yourself and just being like downright hateful. And honesty is good. Hatred for yourself is not. Number 16, journal. Journal. This is always going to be included in this video because journaling is, in my opinion, like one of the best things you can do for yourself. It will genuinely change your life. If you can write down your thoughts and your problems on a piece of paper, it is a problem half solved. I can't remember who said that quote, but someone said it and I fully agree. Because the more times you write down your thoughts, you start seeing these patterns in your thinking. You start seeing where things are going wrong, where you're thinking negatively, and you can develop an almost self-awareness and self-understanding of like, okay, this is the problem, this is how I can solve it. If you're stuck or you're confused about a certain situation or a problem or just anywhere in life and you don't know what you're doing, write it down. Write down how you're feeling, write down your thinking, write down everything about it. And when you look back on it, you can gain a sense of clarity and figure out what steps you need to take to change your situation and make it into one that you enjoy. It's also really good to do this alone. Number 17, spend time in solitude. Genuinely, it is like one of the most important things I think you can have. Again, too much of it is not very good, but you need to just sit with yourself and your thoughts in silence because that builds self-trust, that builds self-confidence. If you're constantly consuming media and you're constantly with other people and you're constantly taking other perspectives of things, you're never going to have a moment of time to yourself to know what it is you truly want and what it is you truly feel. But when you sit alone with no other people, no external sounds or music playing in the back, you get to just be you and your thoughts, and that is it. And that can be scary, but that's why you should do it, because then you could change and make it less scary and actually make it fun and enjoy being around yourself. You get to know who you really are without all the outside noise. Number 18, self-awareness. You see how they link? This is sick, isn't it? They all link together. When you have spent enough time with yourself, you'll become self-aware enough to know your triggers and your habits and like your thought loops that you get stuck in. And a lot of people are very self-aware, and because of that, it's very self-critical. Knowing when you're being self-critical and having the self-awareness to stop it is so important, because then you can change all of these things and make your life better. You can make it easier to be around yourself. Awareness creates the space to choose to be better. Number 19, your thoughts aren't you. A lot of people attach too much of themselves and their identity to the way they think. But you need to understand that these thoughts come from anywhere and everywhere. And just because you have one intrusive thought doesn't mean that that is who you are. We've all stood somewhere high and thought like, what if I just jump off right now, right? Does it mean we're actually gonna do it? No, it's just a thought that happens. We don't know where it comes from, it just happens. You are the observer. You are simply just sat and observing, and these thoughts are whizzing past. And you can intentionally choose which ones you want to give power to and which ones you want to discard. We have thousands, if not millions of thoughts. Okay, millions is kind of crazy. We have thousands of thoughts a day, and not every single one of them is attached to your identity. You make the choice of what is important. Number 20, the little things. Just slow down sometimes. It's a very fast-paced life, especially here at 21 at this age. It feels like there's so much to do, and there is like this happening and this happening and this happening, and you have to keep up with it. And if I don't do this, I'm gonna like fall behind and everything's gonna go wrong. That was actually me like around 18, 19, even like some points of last year. But I think especially over the last year, I've learned to just slow down a bit more and accept things as they are, and also just take notice of the little moments more. When I finish uni and look back on it in 5-10 years time, I'm not gonna remember that deadline or that coursework or that exam that I sat, but I'm gonna remember sitting with my friends cramming for that exam, or that one conversation that we had in a coffee shop somewhere, or that one day that we all go to the park. Those moments are the things that are going to stick with you. And when you can slow down and just observe things and take notice of those small things, it just brings a little bit more joy and a little bit more happiness into your heart. So finally, 21, live in the moment. This is like the biggest and most important thing I think you can ever have, because it immediately solves every single problem you have. It is very easy for us as human beings to get stuck in past events that have already happened that we can't change and hold on to those feelings. It is also very easy for us to get stuck in future events that haven't happened yet, but we are already processing those feelings and having this anxiety about how we're gonna deal with all that happening. But the present moment is the only place where life is actually happening. There is no past to change, there's no future to control, there's only now. And whatever is happening now is what you can have an impact on. If I could boil down all of these past 20 things into one point, it would be this. Because when you're present and you're here and you're aware that you are here, you can do all of the other stuff. That's all included into this one thing. Be present, be self-aware, and do things with love. I know I'm only 21 and I still have so much more to learn, but I think that I'm in a very lucky situation to have this outlook on life at this young age, because it shapes the way that I view my life already. And I know that if I could keep this mindset and this perspective later on in my life, it's just going to be good for me. Life will be good for me regardless, but I know that this will help me a lot. And hopefully this helped you a lot as well. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you got to take some sort of insight out of this, or if not, you got a better understanding of who I am as a person. If you want to see how I spent my 21st birthday week, click on the video on the screen. And thank you for watching.